Hey guys, my name is JessiMew, and welcome back to the Fernleaf Islands, where in the last episode, Sikoko the Sand Dweller surprised us when she waddled up on our shores, and now she's ready to start her own little family right by the ocean. She is actually super important to our tribe right now because she has a 5th and special immunity gene that nobody else in our tribe currently has. So it is very important, super important, that we at least get one baby from her who has immunity H, though we need to get started on that straight away because she only has 4 days left of her life remaining. It was actually kind of hard to pick a male for her because she does have those 2 no-paws, of course. So if she bred with a male who also had the no-paw like Taku back here, then there would be a possibility that all of her children would inherit her same condition, and we definitely don't want that. Luckily, Dusk has spent a lot of his time by the shore because he had to make this kind of like emergency home over here with Messi, and now that his mate has passed, this is actually her skeleton right by their final baby, I think he might have found just a little bit of comfort in Sikoko in a way. So he's going to start his next family alongside with her, though he'll probably send his children off to find Uncle Taku by his tree. This was where they were originally going to all meet up and make their home, right by this tiny little swampland, which is particularly fitting now that we have this little baby right here, Twilight. So she is the very first baby who managed to mutate the warning dots, and she also has the poison fangs, which is kind of perfect. I'm actually hoping that maybe she could be the one to hopefully give us our very first toxic-bodied creatures. I know that I definitely want to bring the toxic body into the jungle because it'll give us a little bit more of that distasteful appearance, and I think that's going to help us kind of deter all of those apes from trying to munch on our creatures. So maybe she could be the pioneer here. Once she grows up and once we find her a suitable male, it would be nice if maybe she could mutate the toxic body onto her own babies. Poor little Aurora, of course, is still sick. She is one of the creatures who unfortunately inherited both immunity Fs, and that might be another situation with this pairing right here. Again, it was very hard to find a perfect pairing, and I don't think a perfect pairing actually exists for Sikoko, but Dusk is probably one of the best that we could offer her. So at the very least, if we can get just one baby with immunity H, then we will be in a much better position. Since Aurora is the oldest and the largest though, I think she will probably lead her siblings off down the shore. She could bring them this way, and oh my goodness, we have a bunny out here! We really have a bunny out here? Like, maybe we should actually sniff around. Oh my gosh, Elm, you have so many bunnies over here too. Unfortunately, Rain moved off to the side so she could chat with Maple a little bit more, so she's not going to be much of a help in this situation. It's all down to you, Elm. If you could jump in here and grab these bunnies before they steal all of our berries. Oh my gosh, they're all going after that berry bush, aren't they? So maybe if we leave her there with her one extra turn, we might be able to snag that bunny up before it comes back. Fingers crossed anyway. I mean, I guess if we move like Rain over here maybe, where the other bunnies are, oh my gosh, so many bunnies, honestly, they are everywhere. I guess it makes sense because it is raining, so they must be coming out to scoop up all of those tasty berries that just grew on the tree. But we are going to keep a very close eye on them. So far it doesn't seem like they've come back out, but I am going to leave her there with that one extra turn just in case. And in fact, it seems like this bunny may have scooted off either into the darkness or into the ocean even. We have seen ocean-dwelling bunnies before, so that wouldn't actually surprise me. But the kids are going to have to keep making their way down the shore, I suppose. We should probably have Twilight make her one tiny little step because of course she's just a baby. We want her siblings to stay in the area at least so that she doesn't get completely lost. And there you are, I see you back there. Let's see if it gets just a little bit closer. Let's see, will it? Nope, it scooted right back. Okay, so it definitely knows that we are watching it right now. It knows that we're watching it and it's just teasing us. Teasing poor Elm, in fact. If it would just go right here and try to snack on those berries, then we could definitely snatch it up. But I'm wondering if maybe it sees us. Maybe it can see Elm because of course she's not in the grass right now. She does have the stripes, so if she was in the tall grass then it would be much easier for her to hide. But since she's just on the shores right now, I feel like the bunny probably sees her and he is definitely a little bit too smart to pick up those berries. So instead we can come over here and have Sikoko drop down her very first nest on this tiny little island. This is going to be like her little nursery. She has all the shells that she could possibly wish for, so she can crack those open with her big cracker jaw to sustain her family. But we need to have Dusk come over this way to breed with her first. Oh my gosh, those bunnies are absolutely everywhere. Don't you go stealing my shells now. Sikoko is not going to be very happy with you if you do that. But we can have Dusk go ahead and breed with her, and then she could actually drop her nest down right there, and then she'll be able to give birth to her very first child on the next turn. Now I'm thinking that what we might actually want to do for her babies is place the running leg in the mutation menu, because if the mutation menu does take into effect, then there is a possibility that we could end up with a baby with no paws instead. It will have either the claw or the nimble fingers passed on from their father, but it is basically guaranteed to have one no paw if the mutation menu does not alter it. Otherwise, for the sake of hopefully preparing a little bit more for the jungle, I am actually going to keep the warning dots right in the 10% slot, because I do want as many of our creatures as possible to wear the warning dots as we're going to the new biome. But since the bunnies have disappeared again, let's go way back here and have Taku go ahead and pick up his berries. He'll be able to show all of the newest little children how to gather up the acorns pretty soon, which I'm sure he's quite excited about. In fact, I think pretty much all of them, yeah, every single one is going to be able to gather up all of the acorns because they all have the nimble fingers. It's funny because I was kind of expecting that Messie's line was going to end up being our warriors, but the only creature who inherited the claw is of course Rukirku. He almost looks exactly like Messie did too. Oh, and before I forget, I did want to change Sikoko's gems over to orange. I figured it would be a good idea to give her some new gems because she is a brand new creature to the pack, and orange kind of fits her perfectly, what with her very sandy appearance. So that would give her another way of kind of blending into all of her surroundings. Now Maple, maybe we should have you scoot up a little bit closer to the mole, just in case. Yeah, it looks like we have a mole right there, though I'm afraid he may actually scare it away if he moves into this tile. So if we could have it just kind of like turn around a little bit more before we do so. And in fact, maybe we will finally have Elm just go ahead and pick up her meat. There we go. Yeah, the mole seems to turn in a clockwise fashion, so we need to wait for him to move just a little bit more before we go ahead and have Maple try to scoop it up. Instead, we could move up to the north, where of course Willow and Mystic are still waiting to start their own little family. Willow is now fully grown, so she should be able to have her first baby on this turn. We could actually move her straight into the nest, though maybe she should actually pick a few berries first. That might be a good idea. Some berries for her very first baby to munch on as soon as it's born. So we could have, I suppose, Willow go ahead and breed with Mystic, and then he could actually use his turns just to make sure that the area is clear around him, because he was trying to clear out all of this nest space. He wants to make sure that his babies are going to be very well protected. Meanwhile, Spruce, you were trying to make your way around the tree because he feels like maybe he could pick up some more acorns in the water if he was on this side of the water instead. So we'll have him scoot around this way and kind of clear out the grass as he does so, just in case he needs to get back. We're getting kind of isolated out here though, so I hope these babies are going to be able to spread out enough to get rid of all of this darkness. We do of course have Van Couvan back here with his little apprentice Oak. They're trying to make their way over to this tree to see if there's any more berries. We do have this berry bush right here, but Oak doesn't really have much of a way of collecting. We could have him pick up a few of them, but we really want them to make their way right over to this tree. Okay, there we go. So we have another berry bush right in the area, which is very good to see. They were trying to find the place with the most berries so that their family would have a lot of food to eat, basically. And it seems like this is probably a pretty good location. We have 3 berry bushes in the area already. Most of the time, it seems like a lot of our resources are right around these trees, so I felt like it would be a pretty safe bet, and we do want to clear out this area anyway because this is where we're going to go when we do finally decide to go to the jungle. Once we're completely prepared and we have all of those special genes ready to hopefully keep the apes away from our tribe. Now I believe it's just OGs, just Maple, but we also have the bunny just kind of like hopping through the tide pools right now. But can Maple finally grab that mole? Let's see. Yeah, it looks like the mole is not looking in his direction. So if he scoots over here, then he should at the very least be able to swipe at the mole, and then we should be able to gather up the meat on the next turn, because I believe everyone is out of turns now. So it seems like the little bunnies are off in this direction as well. We want to keep a very close eye on that because Rain is probably going to have to defend her berry bush. And I'm thinking that these guys are probably getting to know each other very, very well. It might be possible that they could have a baby too. their babies would definitely be very good collectors because of course he has the double nimble fingers. We just have to keep an eye on the webbed feet situation. I think it's much more beneficial for us to have the regular hind legs because it gives us more speed on land, and I don't think we're going to be doing too much swimming when we finally do go to the jungle. Let's zoom in on Sikoko though and see her very first baby, and cross your fingers that whatever it is, it does actually have the immunity gene H. That is what we're looking for right now. Oh my gosh, look at her! She has H, she has the nimble fingers, and she has the runner leg instead of the no paw. Oh my gosh, we could not have asked for a better baby in this situation. That is exactly what we were hoping for. She also has the big nose just like her father, and she has that beautiful kind of cream fur almost. She is absolutely gorgeous though, and I think especially with her fishing tail and the fact that she was born right by the ocean, maybe something like sea foam would be a good name for her. She does look like a little bit of sea foam that you would find on the waves anyway with her gray fur. So there we go, she's going to be able to collect all of these shells too, and I think that's probably going to be their preferred source of food at this point. But we definitely want Sikoko to scoot over this way so that she'll be able to drop down another nest, and it looks like we had some more bunnies spawning over here, didn't we? I think one just scooted off into the darkness. That is not good. We don't need more bunnies over here trying to mess with us and steal all of our berries. But we do need them to breed again, so we'll have Sikoko go ahead and breed with the dusk and then drop down yet another nest. It looks like we have enough material to make one more nest, but I think we could actually just work with 2. Because on the next turn, Seafoam is going to be able to move out of the nest, so she'll be able to use the previous nest that she dropped down instead. So 2 should be just enough for her to have a baby on every single remaining day of her life, so that we can hopefully pass the immunity gene H even more. Like, this is just perfect. I can't believe how perfectly this actually worked out. We should have another little baby to take a look at too. Let's see. Oh my gosh, way back here, look at you! Unfortunately, she inherited the Anopa instead from her father, but look at her, she has the purple eyes, and she's like a gray panda, I think. She's a gray panda because she has the black fur and the gray fur mixed together. Oh my goodness, she is beautiful. Let's name her Nova. I feel like with those purple eyes, we definitely have to go along with those magic and space and sky related themes, so little Nova. Now I believe we could probably have them breed again as well. If we have Willow scoot out this way, then Mystic could actually breed with her, and she should be able to make her way right over to this nest. So she's kind of going to chat it up with her brother Spruce along the way as he makes his way around the tree yet again. He's going to continue clearing out his very, very slow path, but pretty soon he's going to have a lot of acorns to gather up for his sister and her tiny little budding family too. For that matter, she could help him if she stayed nearby this tree. It would be perfect if we had a berry bush for her though. Oh my goodness. Okay, we have plenty of berry bushes out here. I didn't realize we had so many. So it seems like Oak and Vancouver may have actually gone in the wrong direction after all. But they are still doing a good job over here, just trying to make sure that all of the areas cleared out so that eventually when we do want to make our way over to the jungle, of course, we'll be able to get there with relative ease. Now I think at this point it's just the critters over here. Oh my goodness, we have a bunny over here too, snacking on our berries. Oh no, you definitely stole some of our berries, didn't you? Let's see, are there any more around here? We have one right here, so we'll have to have somebody try to pounce on that guy too, but for now, Rain, I believe you can actually scoot all the way around this berry bush to pin this guy and snag him up too. There we go. So she has successfully managed to hunt down one of those pesky bunnies. We can have you pick up your mole meat and pick up your berries as well. And then yeah, I think they are probably getting to know each other very well at this point, so maybe they would actually start a little family of their own right at this nest right here. They were kind of the few creatures who were left behind, actually. Rain, Maple, and of course Elm over here. Elm was too young, Maple was too slow, and Rain just couldn't let go of her own memories of this tree because this is where she was born, this is where she lost her mother, so they all kind of stayed here for their own reasons, and I feel like they probably will actually start a tiny little family together. Elm has kind of inadvertently become like the dedicated berry picker though, the acorn collector, the berry picker, so she can go ahead and gather gather up all of that food for us. We're doing pretty good with our food supplies, actually. We have over 100 pieces now, so I am very happy to see that. But we could always use a little bit more. We'll have at Dusk pick up these shells for Sikoko, of course. He could actually scoot over here and pick up this one too, and there's yet another little bunny looking at this slowly growing berry bush, actually. Now I think it's just a little bit too far away for Twilight to actually catch, so she's going to have to just try to catch up with her siblings at this point, though she can move very far. Look at her range. She could actually get all the way up here to where Aurora is, and then she could jump into the swamplands too. Now I feel like naturally she is probably going to enjoy the swamplands a little bit more, even though it's a little bit dangerous for her to be inside them. She just enjoys the swampy feel of the landscape. So it's definitely fitting that she has decided to make her home over here with all of her siblings. We'll have Rokirku come up this way. We could have Aurora actually sit right by this shell and gather that up too. And then Rokirku could use his last turn to just expand the territory a little bit, because Taku is going to go ahead and show them how to collect acorns. He can scoop up every last acorn in the area as they're all kind of gathered around him watching. So hopefully pretty soon they'll be able to gather up the acorns too, because he is going to be passing away within the next couple of days. He only has a few days to share all of his acorn collecting ways. Now otherwise, I believe that is it for this turn, so we can go ahead and see yet again what Sikoko's next little baby is going to look like. Our next sand-dwelling baby, and yet again cross your fingers that it will actually have immunity gene H. So let's go ahead and skip the day. And it's another little daughter. Oh my gosh, look at that. She has the claw, of course. She has the claw, so it's like an opposite of her sister. She's much darker than her sister, and she still has that running leg. How on earth did we manage to mutate the running leg on both of their babies, especially considering that Sikoko has 2 no paws? That is just complete blind luck and immunity H. Really, this is like the luckiest little family I have ever seen. Okay, so we're going to have to find a good name for her too, and I think I would actually like to name her Quicksand. So kind of like a complete opposite of her sister who represents the gentle ocean, Quicksand is definitely going to be a little bit more harsh and daring with her big claw. Now I suppose at this point, since we've been so lucky, we might as well have them have yet another baby. We can have Seafoam scoot to this side of her mother, and then of course Sikoko can sit in this nest and go ahead and breed with her mate, though I do see a little bunny back there. Oh my gosh, we can finally get one. There you go, Elm. Your patience has paid off for you. We have successfully managed to lure a little bunny over to our trap. Okay, so we'll leave her there with her extra turn because I'm pretty sure that other bunny just scooted off into the darkness. Yeah, it's over here somewhere with all of these little flower ports. So we will just keep a very close eye on that location just in case it hops a little bit too close. Now, how about you back here, Rain? Do you have anything that you need to take a look at? So far it seems very quiet over here, so maybe she scared them all away? It seems like we have a little bunny back here though, which is quite interesting because I do remember Vancouver catching bunnies on the shore before. Hopefully he won't get too distracted though, and in fact maybe we should have him come over here to clear out the area a little bit more for us before the bunnies do come out and he feels the need to give chase. Oak could actually ease his mind a little bit by scooting a little bit closer to the shores, and there we go, ease his mind very well because he managed to actually catch the bunny. Now does he have anything else to catch out here? I think it was just the one. Oh my goodness, but we have 2 bunnies back here. Okay, the bunnies are becoming a little bit of a nuisance, a little bit more than the moles were. We had a lot of moles before, but now it's just bunny city over here. And oh my gosh, look at this little baby. She is literally a spitting image of her mother. The only thing she's missing is the stinky tail. She actually has her father's a swimming tail instead. Oh my gosh, she is adorable. Let's go ahead and name her a Juniper, I think. That would definitely go along with her mother's theme a little bit more, which is very fitting considering her appearance. Now Spruce, you might actually be able to make it over to your dedicated position today. If we have him pick up this grass right here, then if he sits like, oh my gosh, right on this molehill, well hopefully that's not going to affect anything. I think it'll be fine because we can actually sit on top of the molehill, so that shouldn't really be a problem. The only thing is this mole is not going to be able to pop out of its hill because we are going to be sitting right on top of it. Now instead of having them breed again on this turn, why don't we actually have Mystic and Nova spend a little bit of bonding time together? We can have Nova toddle out of her little nest, and then Mystic could actually scoot up this way to, oh my goodness, maybe not. Maybe instead we're going to have to pounce on this bunny. Okay, so you've managed to teach your child how to catch bunnies at the very least. Maybe that's a good sign. Maybe that means that little Nova is going to be a bunny warrior. Though she doesn't have the claw, she has the nimble fingers, so we would expect her to maybe settle down by the berry bushes, though she could possibly use that to her advantage, actually. That might work because then she could scare all of the little bunnies away who are trying to steal our berries. So her father is teaching her very, very well, and I suppose, Willow, for that matter, you could bond with your little baby too. You could go ahead and pick up some of the grass around the area, pick up the acorns, of course, and then just kind of expand the territory. We did want to make sure that these berry bushes were getting uncovered anyway, so that might be a good idea for you guys to do. I don't like all of this darkness, of course. I do not like having all of this darkness kind of separating our packs like this. So it would be a good idea if we could spread these children out just a little bit more once they start growing up. Dusk, at the very least, could come down here to pick up some more shells for his family, because they do definitely seem to enjoy that. I think that's all that he can actually pick up, though. We have some shells down here. I mean, I don't like bringing him so far away. Oh my gosh, but he hit the jackpot. Okay, I guess that's fine then, because I know Sikoko is going to be very, very pleased with all of these shells coming back to her. Now again, since Aurora is the oldest, she would probably be the best to come over here and take up Taku's position. This is his very final day, so we'll have him pick up the few acorns that he can in his old age, and maybe he could even headbutt the tree for us too. He's one of the last remaining creatures with the antlers, isn't he? I know a few of our little critters have the antlers in their genetics, so it would be nice to see that get pulled out again, especially in memory of him. But now all of you can pick up your acorns with Uncle Taku. He has one more acorn that he can collect, and then we can have Aurora pick up the rest. There we go. And then of course Twilight can pick up hers too, right in the swamplands. We could have her scoot around to this side so that there we go. She could actually pick from the berry bush too. That might be a good idea. We did have this one over here. Taku actually got rid of it. He destroyed the whole thing because he's not very good at collecting. He can only do acorns. He can't do the berries. So now we at least have somebody in the area who can collect from that berry bush. And I believe we probably have a couple more out here, right? I vaguely remember that we had a couple of berry bushes. There they are. And there's our nest too. All right, we have a nest over here. I'm not sure if we found that before and maybe we just didn't clear it out. But either way, Rokirku is definitely going to be able to clear out this entire area around the nest so that hopefully he or one of his siblings will be able to start a family on this side of the island. Now, the one last thing I want to do before we end out this episode is finally allow Rain and Maple to have a child together. So we could have her scoop up her berries just to make sure that we have enough food for the children, and then Rain can go ahead and sit in the nest, and then we could have Maple scoot over here and breed with her. So there we go. They are going to start their own tiny little family right by this beginning tree, the very first tree that we landed right next to when we migrated islands. So in a way, they're kind of carrying on the legacy of Adam and Eve in their own way, because a lot of the other creatures have moved on at this point. We have so many creatures way up in the north making their own families, getting ready to leave from the jungle biome, and then of course we have a Dusk over here too, who I almost feel like, even though he was meant to become the full leader of this island, kind of abandoned that duty and left it to Mystic instead. It seems like he's much more interested in leading his own quiet life on the quietest corners of the island. He is as far away from the jungle as you could possibly get at this point, so I don't think he was too interested in really leading the pack like he was meant to. But regardless, we are well on our way to finally making it over to the jungle biome, especially after all of the good luck that we've had today. We have some brand new immunity genes to play around with, and we're doing pretty well with our jungle-related genes too. So hopefully once our creatures are just a little bit stealthier, we'll be able to skip on over to the jungle ports and see what's waiting for us there. But for now, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye guys!